Hi, this is Sitting in the Stew. We are on our third episode now, and this one's going to be a nice short one with Unity's Bub, and it's going to be kind of like a autobiography interview style one. So I guess let's get started.
By the way, thank you for having me, Riley. Appreciate being here. So yeah, where should we begin in my story?
Should we begin with the very first thought? Like, how did your interest even start?
With music?
Yeah, like...
Okay, I remember it very vividly. There's certain things where you're like, okay, I know what I want to do now. So I was 14, right? And I went to a Sleeping with Sirens concert, and they are like the most cringiest emo band ever. But I was so excited to see them live, right? And I was at the Roundhouse in London, and I was second floor standing because we were too late to buy the tickets, so we couldn't get like ground floor, and we couldn't even get seating. We were just stood there. I remember watching them. I was like, what the fuck? They get paid to make songs they enjoy, to go on tour and play live. And I turned to my mum and it's like, this is what I want to do in life. I want to be the person on the stage, you know? Yeah. I want to perform, you know? Because what isn't great about, you know, performing and actually getting paid and having like that kind of influence and that platform from music, you know? That's amazing. That it just like clicked in my brain, like the cogs went and then I knew it. That's what I wanted to do. But I didn't know what music to make. At the time I played drums, you know, not great, but I was in a band with my friend Nikolai and Sam. We didn't have a vocalist. No one wanted to play with us. We recorded maybe one song like on the iPhone really shittily, and that was about it. But what I learned from playing the drums and being in a band is how to work with others, which is very important.
Oh, definitely, like with collaborations, I'm guessing.
And like in the couple of other episodes that we did, I talk about collaboration, but when I say collaboration, I mean knowing how to work with others. Like you can't be like some diva kind of character. You can't be this. You gotta like not adapt because that sounds like there's something wrong with them, but mold around someone else and work with them because everyone has different influences, styles, likes, dislikes, and you also have that. So you have to make sure you get everything, you know, like you work well because...
You have to be like sensitive as well, like, you know, if they've got like a religion or a belief, you know.
I didn't even think of that, but that is a very good point.
You got to be sensitive, you know. You can't like, say you're doing a rap and you write a lyric, you need to think about that. You're like, does this offend the person I'm working with?
Kind of like how recently Kanye West, it was found out that when he was recording his Jesus King album, he asked everyone, very politely, to refrain from premarital sex because that's his religious belief. And people respected that and they didn't. But that kind of thing where you have to be respectful of the people who you're working with. Because
it's just as simple as what he done. You literally just have to go and talk to them, you know? It's not like anything hard or anything. It's just feel like it's something that some people forget because, you know, it's an easy step to.
Yeah, and definitely in a band setting, you have to because there are way more people.
Oh, yeah.
And it's loud. Drums are loud. Like, the guitar is loud. And you have to work around that. But that taught me. But I felt kind of unfulfilled, if that makes sense. I felt like I wasn't progressing, I wasn't going anywhere, this wasn't going anywhere. And that's kind of when I was getting into rap, you know? Like, shout out to my friend Ben, right? Ben sat next to me and he told me the music I was listening to was shit, which it wasn't, by the way. But he told me it was shit and he showed me all these people. He showed me X, he showed me Uzi, he showed me everyone. And then I just... It just clicked. I was like, oh my God, this is the best, you know? Yeah. And I went from there, you know, and expanded my music taste, which allowed me to then start making music. And obviously people are like, oh, you did rap because it's easy. Pardon me, it's easier than being in a band, which I think is very untrue, right?
Because, it's definitely untrue.
Because although, not to discredit people in a band, because it is hard to record and get everything right, that doesn't mean what I'm doing is easy.
They're both hard things to follow
in
through
their own respect.
Yeah.
And another thing that people underestimate is how terrifying it is to put your songs online. The whole world could see that. They might not, but the whole world can see that. And the people who are going to see you first is people locally. And having people locally know your shitty SoundCloud songs is a terrifying fact. Because they will tease you for it and they will make fun of you for it. And you've got to have tough skin for that. Because I remember I put out Steps Forward and I didn't tell anyone. I showed them, I held the phone, like, hold on. I held my phone like this so they couldn't see how to find it, you know?
Yeah.
So they couldn't, like, show everyone and be like, oh, look at this fucking loser, you know? So yeah. That was about 2 years ago now. And from there, you kind of grow your confidence, you know?
No, like you'd happily, show everyone, your song.
Yeah, I post it everywhere. Yeah.
So with your first couple of songs released, you said you didn't have much of a confidence, but when do you feel like your confidence started growing and you started promoting it a lot more?
I remember it vividly. It's when I made We Got Sauce, classic song. I love that song. That's when I first started getting confidence enough to promote it on a wide scale, like put it on my Instagram, put it on my Snapchat, tell my parents about it. I told everyone I knew about it. Like, because that's when I felt like, I know I'm not great, but I'm doing something and I'm getting better at it and I'm improving. And that song kind of like I put like my stages, like stage 1 is like here, right? And stage 2 is like, that's when I got better. And after We Got Sauce, that's when I started getting better. And that's when I found, that's when LCG started. And that's when I started collabing with Francis, who's known as Chuko, shout out. I Got Stripes. That's when Carlos used to rap. And that's when I got used to recording. Like, that song took me 4 hours to make.
Really? So you wanted to get that right then?
Yeah, but now, if I was going to record a song like We Got Sauce, it would take me 30 minutes maybe, half an hour kind of thing.
Would you ever pay for promotion?
See, I've been aware of paid promotions for a while, but I don't know whether the amount of money I would spend would result in a good outcome. I feel like paying to promote your songs might work in a short term, but in the long term it won't. You have to grow it naturally. You know, grow your things naturally. You make better music, you promote it more, your social media grows, and it kind of gets this cycle is your social media grows, you make better songs, you promote it to your social media, the songs get bigger, and the songs that get big, they might like, let's say I made a song and it like blew up and I have my like Instagram plugged in it, people would go to my Instagram, you know? So it's all kind of like interlocked.
Yeah, definitely.
So I feel that if you grow it naturally, which is longer, like you could be an industry plant and pay for thousands of followers and then make it seem like you have a fan base and then get a record deal, which might work out, but you know, that's not how I want to do it. I want someone that's going to stick around for every album I put out, you know?
You would rather have like a good, solid, strong audience than like a quick, oh, that's all right, leave audience.
Because then I'll know, like, some people who came out 20 years ago can still sell records. Like Nas, you know, still is selling records, and he's been out for 25 years, I want to say. And that's because he's created a steady and reliable fan base.
Yeah, like, I feel like with some artists today, they could go silent for years and years. And if they just came back with no warning and just dropped the song, that song would get so much attention because they have dedicated followers.
Think about Travis Scott. He took like 2 years to drop Astroworld, and Astroworld did huge numbers.
That is amazing album, ain't it? Like, that
I
got
love
a
that
lot
album.
of attention.
Yeah, and when Uzi finally drops something, that will be an event.
Yeah.
And when Kai drops something, that will be an event. Like fucking Kai's plays went up by 20% because people thought a Whole Lot of Red was coming out. No. I did a show in London. No one turned up, but I did that. And the very fact that I was able to do that is impressive to me. And I'm proud of
definitely.
that because I'm doing something. I'm not just sitting at the park doing nothing. Although I do that. I'm trying to, make something of myself.
Yeah.
And then if I make something of myself, I can bring everyone else along because I know people like Dylan and Sam and all of LCG, they have potential to be great. And if one of us becomes great, why can't I make everyone else and bring them to the forefront, you know?
Yeah, and it's like, it's back to that thing where you're doing that concert. Like, no one may have turned up, but you have something now. You can actually say,
I have experience.
I have experience, and I've actually performed at a concert. Like,
Yeah.
It counts.
5 people, including my mum, isn't a big deal, but the very notion that I was able to do that at all is impressive to
planning,
me.
the payment, the travels. It just shows that you're
Committed
willing.
to this,
Yeah.
and I'm probably gonna do another show even soon at the Hunters Club in Bury. If you want to come down, that would be sick. But other than that, shameless plug. I think
It's not a shameless plug. We'll probably be down there filming it.
literally, but I like to conclude this by saying, check out Swag. It's out. Blake Griffin with I Got Stripes. Do whatever you want. And yeah, thank you for having me, Riley.
Thank you for coming on.